Hi, I'm Stacey Park, and this is Artbeat, a Missouri Western production. There's a lot happening on the local art scene, and Artbeat will be there to give you a front row seat to the latest performances, workshops, and festivals. We'll also go behind the curtain to chat with the local artists, volunteers, and organizations that make it all happen. So let's go see what's happening in this edition of Artbeat. Today we're here visiting the Albrecht-Kemper Museum of Art in historic St. Joseph, Missouri.
When you visit an art museum, you're really visiting a time capsule. You're looking at art from the beginning of time. In our case, however, we're looking at art from the early 1700s or the middle 18th century. And this is when our museum begins, and it is all primarily and pretty much exclusively American art. So as we look at it, we can look at how time developed in art from the mid-1700s. And the first thing we're going to look at are these portraits right here. And these, in some cases, we refer to them as a primitive because the people that drew them did not have any formal art training. They traveled around, they were itinerant artists, and they worked at the bidding of individual people, but they were not trained. And so we find interesting things when we look at them. Notice there are no hands present. Hands are really hard to draw, so we leave those out. And the body sizes are peculiar. They don't join together the way a trained artist would do those. During this period of time, it was really important to have a picture of yourself. We don't have cameras. We don't have any way to go down through time and know what grandma looked like. So we had portraits done. And that was the primarily the first art that was produced in this country. Very few landscapes, because if, and a big if, you had the money to have a real picture in your home, it was generally a portrait of a member of the family. The earlier portraits that we were looking at were done by itinerant artists that really were learning as they worked. These portraits that we're looking at here, primarily these two by Gilbert Stuart, are by a very well-trained artist. And the thing that's interesting about them, because as you look at a picture, it's kind of like looking at a postcard from the past. And so as you do that, what we're looking at is the front of the postcard, but it's fun to be able to think about what they would have written on the back. And as we look at these two, the artist, Gilbert Stuart, is the one who did the picture of George Washington on the $1 bill. But he was a very well-trained artist, and you look at these and think, would my mother have ever worn her hair like that? Can I imagine my father in a suit like that with a gray beard or with a gray wig on? Don't think so. But that would have been their Sunday best and the way they wanted to be remembered by their children and grandchildren. However, this portrait by Rembrandt Peale is one that I've always thought was great fun. Now, Rembrandt maintained that he was painting George Washington from life. However, this picture was done in 1850. George Washington wasn't alive then, but he was invited as a very young boy to paint George Washington's picture. And it sold so well that he painted another one, and another one, and another one. And this is painting number 50 of George Washington, and was done just before Mr. Peale died. But the interesting thing to me, and I would love to have been Mr. Peale, is that he did George Washington and he could have done Abraham Lincoln. His life spanned that period of time. We're very fortunate to be able to have one of Rembrandt Peale's paintings of George Washington. About 1850, when we saw the portrait of George Washington, things changed. The camera came into being. And when the camera came into being, it was easier to get a real likeness of people. And so all of a sudden we start seeing many landscapes appear. And this one by George Bierstadt is one of my very favorites. Bierstadt was an artist that was hired by the railroad companies to go out, paint the West, and bring it back and hang it in train stations, hang it around various cities, so that people could see how wonderful the West was. And don't you want to ride our train and go out west? In fact, it was probably the beginning of the advertising posters. Bierstadt did very idealized pictures of the West, and as you look at them, and then if you've been to the Rocky Mountains or out to the Sierra Mountains, you're going, I don't think they really look like that. But Bierstadt made them look like that so that people would come and visit. One of the interesting things with paintings is the paintings may be valuable, but equally valuable are the frames that they're in. And if you find a painting in its original frame, the value of both escalates dramatically. These two pictures are very interesting because now we've moved into the beginning of the 20th century, the early 1900s. And if you were a wealthy woman, you were a piece of decorative art in the home. You weren't expected to work. You weren't expected to do any hard labor, even in the home. You were expected to be a gracious lady and be beautiful. And that's how these two have been painted, so that when we look at them, it's very, very different from what we saw with the early portraits, where they were in drab clothes, where they were very serious looking. These ladies are expected to be very elegant. They are dressed in very colorful clothing, and yet you have the feeling as you look at them, something's missing. And it's up to you to put into your vision what it is that is missing as you look at these elegant ladies with the vacant looks on their faces. What we have been looking at so far are what I would call postcards from the past. We've been looking at pictures that were painted during the period of time that the artist painted them. But if you look at this picture by N.C. Wyeth, you know immediately it could not be a postcard from the past, because Wyeth painted this picture about 1920, but it very clearly is an Indian negotiating with pilgrims. Obviously, he's painting what he thinks the past looked like. So when we look at these, it gives us that idea of imagination, which all of us have, of what the past looked like as opposed to what it actually looked like. Needless to say, we don't have any pictures of Indians and pilgrims negotiating, so we have to use our imagination. And an art museum is imagination and reality combined to let us know what the world can be like if we just imagine. We have looked at maybe 8 paintings. The museum is full of magnificent paintings that range from the 1700s up to almost yesterday. There are works here that are absolutely amazing, and I would welcome anyone who is interested in coming to visit the museum. If you'd like to have a tour, call ahead and we'll arrange for a docent to walk you around the galleries. or you're welcome to just come and walk and look at your leisure.
We visited with Michelle Meyerhofer, a board member and the Sugar Plum Festival chair.
The Sugar Plum Festival is an annual fundraiser for the Albrecht-Kemper Museum of Art here in St. Joseph, Missouri. I'm happy to say that it's now becoming our largest fundraiser. We do cater around the holiday season, in which we transform the art museum and the art gallery into a holiday shopping experience. We are getting local artisans, just from the local artisans and regional artisans, to come join our Sugar Plum Festival. We invite around 40 vendors into the Sugar Plum Festival, and they offer products from gourmet dog bones to jewelry from local artists. We also have boutiques that come in from all over the area. And most of our booths that are here come from the Kansas, the Missouri, and the Nebraska states. The date of the Sugar Plum this year is Thursday, November 11th through Saturday, November 13th. Thursday actually is a preview open house night, and that is for those folks who pay a special admission of $30. They will get a sneak peek, first-hand look at what the Sugar Plum Festival has to offer. We provide live music that night, appetizers and beverages for those patrons. And then Friday, for the weekend admission, it's $5 for those folks who are over 12. Children 12 and under are free with an adult. But we're excited this year because we are constantly expanding what the Sugar Plum Festival offers. Not only do we have the preview open house night, which I mentioned, we also offer lunch both Friday and Saturday for our visitors. We also this year are incorporating a Sugar Plum Fairy photo booth. So please feel free to bring your family, your friends, your children, and come take your picture with the Sugar Plum Fairy this year, which will help create, Sugar Plum memories. The other thing that we also offer, which was new last year, was a sign up for our annual wine walk, which is another part of our fundraiser for the Albrecht Museum, in which we have folks sign up for this event. The wine walk will actually take place in the spring of 2011, and basically you get to experience 5 homes in St. Joseph. You experience 5 specially selected wines along with 5 appetizers. The price of that is $35. So we encourage folks to come to the Sugar Plum Festival to sign up for this, our annual wine walk. And then also we've incorporated a new Festival of Trees. So not only do we take down the art in the museum and create the shopping experience, we incorporate the holiday theme and have local artisans decorate and donate trees in which folks can bid on to purchase for their home, office, or for a gift. So we're excited to incorporate a lot of things this year into the Sugar Plum Festival. Well, there's many ways to get involved here at the Albrecht-Kemper Museum of Art. One simple way would be to actually come visit us. And it's easy to become a member. You can get all the information at the front desk or visit our website. Just check us out and visit all of our events that we have to offer. Sugar Plum Festival, the Pot of Gold is available. Is another one of our annual fundraisers. We're taking trips to visit other museums in the area. Or just to name a few things, we offer lunch on Wednesdays and Thursdays here. The cafe is open, which is a great way to support our museum and enjoy the museum itself.
We hope you've enjoyed learning more about the Albrecht-Kemper Museum and that you're ready to plan your next trip here. For more information, please call the museum or visit the website at albrecht-kemper.org. We hope you enjoyed this edition of Artbeat. Keep watching for us on MWTV or watch us on the web at missouriwestern.edu/artbeat, where you can also check out upcoming arts events and organizations. Thanks again for joining us. See you next time on Artbeat.